Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon once again. This is your boy, Reg. I bring you greetings, y'all, from Joy and Affliction Ministries. And the word of God declares truly the light is sweet for the eyes. Behold the sun. I look, man, I hope all is well with you all this afternoon, that you're having a wonderful day once again in the land of the living, that the Lord is with you. The Lord has been blessing you. As a matter of fact, we know the Lord has been with you. The fact of the matter is that you're breathing now. And not only that, but you're watching this video as well. So, look, we just pray by God's grace, man, that God is answering your prayers, that He's grant you the desires of your heart, even in the midst of your affliction. What do you say out there? Looks after this afternoon, y'all, man, I'm blessed to have a dear friend of mine, Mr. Keith Waston Sr., actually, and he is with me today. He is actually a sarcoidosis. Well, he is a transplant, a lung transplant survivor. He is dealt. He been. Before the transplant, he was dealing with pulmonary sarcoidosis, and so he is with me today to share his story and to kind of just to encourage those who may be going down that journey. As they are dealing with and fighting pulmonary sarcoidosis. Once again, y'all, I have with me Keith Waston Sr. How you doing, my man? How you doing, Chief?
I'm doing good, Reg.
All
Uh,
right, right.
really good.
Uh,
God is faithful, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, man. Well, look. We're glad to have you. We're glad to have you on the show once again, y'all, man. And Nick, man, we just can't wait to hear from you. I know it's been a long time since we basically talked, man. I think we talked around. I think around this time last year. I think we talked at least a good hour and a half to 2 hours or so on the phone around this time last year, and man, we have not talking since then. So, look, man. What's been going on with you, man? How life been treating you, especially as it relates to living with new lungs, man. Living with new lungs. How's it been going lately, Doc? All is well. No struggles.
Everything, everything is going
Uh,
very
yeah.
well. I came home from the hospital at 113 pounds,
Yes.
and today I'm up to about 164. My strength has increased. I'm not what I used to be, but I'm certainly not at 113 pounds, and
All
so
right now.
uh, things are on the incline. Um, and my lungs are working like a well-oiled machine.
Mm, man, that's wonderful, man. Now you look. You said you came out of the hospital at 113 pounds. What was your weight when you went into the hospital?
Prior to everything, there was a window of about 7 months
Hmm.
where prior to the transplant, and I was like 230.
Wow. 230. And when you know what I'm saying, when you entered the hospital, when you came out, you know what I'm saying, you're weighing at 113, you said it was?
113. Yes.
113. Wow, man. Wow. Um that's you know what I'm saying, man, that's a lot of weight, man, that have came off, man, through the journey of a transplant. Now, did you lose this weight because I guess it was because of transplant though, right? Or just a sickness
Well,
or
well, there was a bout that I had with um, a, um, a fungus by the name of
Mhm.
aspergillus.
Right.
Well, the sarcoid opened up the door for the aspergillus to land in my lung,
Mm,
and what that did is created uh, pulmonary embolisms where
okay.
I bled, and so what I did is I had a real big bleed in um, December of
Hmm.
2019. And when I had that bleed, they put me in a 6-day coma
Mm,
so that they could repair it. When they repaired it, I mean, 6 days when I came out of there, that I that's where I lost the bulk. And then over the next
mm.
course of the next 4 or 5 months, I continued to just plummet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was.
All right, all right, all right. Well, look, man, look, let's get into your journey. Let's get deep into your journey. You're already, you know what I'm saying, have started the process. But look, man, I want to go back, um, before, the transplant. Once again, before I move forward, look, y'all, we're dealing with, the topic is talking about, we're dealing with living with new lungs, living with new lungs. And Keith, I want you to just kind of just share with us, the viewers, man, what was life like before the health crisis, before, what I'm saying, you start experiencing, lung issues.
Wow, I worked as a retail manager for over 15 years, and when I left the retail industry, I went into construction. So I was rehabbing homes, and I had side jobs lined up while that were parallel to my work. And I pretty much was the one of the last in bed, but one of the first.
Mm.
I was the one up. Okay, and so I was very active. I was very on the go, and so when things started happening with the sarcoid, that's when I began to slow down.
Okay.
Um, so
So what was the, I mean, if you don't mind, I mean, you don't mind giving us, around the age, when things begin to happen with psychoid, what I'm saying, it started causing things to slow down. If you don't, uh,
no, I was 44, 40, about
come on,
44,
Chief. Mm.
40
Right,
point now.
right, right, right. Well, I mean, it's this, what I'm saying, and the reason why I asked the question is that they say that majority, they say that majority of the cases, those who are dealing with psychosis, psychoid, what I'm saying, many of the cases are discovered, in the early 40s. Matter of fact, I was 42, I believe it was, when I discovered psychoid. I had cardiac sarcoidosis. Uh, you know, Go ahead, Chief.
So I would say, honestly, looking back, I would say it was around 42.
Okay,
Yeah,
42. Uh-huh.
it was
Okay,
about
cool.
same average there.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, true. And let's just do a psych word real quick. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause both of us dealing with cardiac, dealing with sarcoidosis. I'm dealing with cardiac sarcoidosis. You're dealing with pulmonary sarcoidosis before the transplant. They say that, once again, many cases, many cases are, when it comes to, discovering sarcoidosis in the individual life is around 42 years, 40, early 40s, 40, early 40s for the most part, late 30s, but not only that, but they said that sarcoidosis, a high rate of it, those who have a higher rate in North America when it comes to groups, ethnic groups, Caucasians, African Americans, Asians, Philippines, I mean, Hispanics, things of that nature. They say that African Americans has the highest rate, what I'm saying, out of all the ethnic groups. And not only that, but they said that the black female has the highest rate within the African American community. You know what I'm saying, Chief? And I know what I mean, you can share with us about pulmonary. What do they say about pulmonary? When it comes to organs, you see what I'm saying? What group of organs has the highest rate of psychoid? I know you know this answer.
Well, it's definitely the lungs.
Come on, Chief.
Definitely the lungs. But with sarcoid, it can move to one of the other organs.
Right.
So it can jump. So
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
they really kept an eye on the surrounding organs,
Right.
and when I had any kind of I would have these like real strong uh, pains in my heart.
Hmm.
They one of the nurses had, I mean, a nurse of all people
Hmm.
told me for about three different trips to the hospital, to the ER, that
Hmm.
because of sarcoid, I could have these pains, and these pains were like, they were pains that you couldn't neglect and be like, okay, that was just a pain.
Mm-hmm.
They, I thought I was, having a cardiac arrest.
Mm.
And so, not that it jumped in and infected my heart, but at the same time, it was causing these arrhythmias
That's
that
right.
would periodically, and they had really had me, concerned.
That's true, man, and that is true because once again, I mean, yes, you're right, man. It can hit multiple organs at one time, or it can jump around. As you stated, majority of the cases are found in the lungs. I think they said 90% of the cases are found in the lungs, and then you have a few, small percentage of cases, on the heart. Like for myself, side cord is running down the center of my heart when they discover I had it. Some, brain, the nervous system, eyes, joints, so definitely, man, it can move around. It can attack multiple organs at one time. I mean, listening to you, what you're sharing with me is that not only do you have it in your lungs, but it also was affecting your heart. You know what I'm saying? It was affecting your heart as well. Now, did they ever discover cardiac cycle on your heart, or just the because of the activity, the lungs activity, or psychoid being active in the lungs, was that just affecting the mechanics of I don't know if I want to say mechanics or not, but was that affecting the working of the heart as well? It was, or was it
Ah,
actually on? Did you find it any on your heart at all?
no, no. I each time I had these irregular pains in my heart, I had extensive testing. I took
Hmm.
walking tests. And I had a very good heart surgeon that I was under, and they never found anything.
Okay,
No.
okay, okay. All right, that's wonderful, man. That's good news. That's good news. But I want to say this lastly, and it's actually considered to be a autoimmune disease, inflammatory disease as well, autoimmune inflammatory disease. And so this is cycle. It has a mind of its own. It can show up when it wants to, and it can leave when it wants to. Some is severe, some cases are not severe, some cases it's life threatening, and some cases people can live with psychoid for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And do fine, what I'm saying, Chief. And so, definitely, man, it has a mind of its own and affect individuals differently as well, on their journey fighting psychosis. But look, Chief, let's just talk about some, what I'm saying. Let's just talk about, what led to the transplant. You know what I'm saying. I know you talked about life was a struggle. You know what I'm saying, and it was rough. No, I don't know if you shared this on the show or not, or just was this was behind the scenes where we were just talking. But just talk with us, Chief, man. You know what I'm saying about those what life was like that was led up to the transplant, man. I know it wasn't easy. I know life had been had been a struggle. You see what I'm saying before the transplant.
Yes. In in February of 2018, um, everything was, well, let's go back to 2016. I started going in and out of the hospital. That's when it really started affecting me. But then in 20 February of 2018, I would traditionally cough because it caused me to cough frequently. And this one particular day, I coughed and spit up some blood.
Mm,
The blood kept coming. I went to the hospital, and through that stay, um, they basically found that I had this fungus. And you just prior to my beginning to talk again, you mentioned the autoimmune disease and how it the live lung tissue is susceptible to sarcoid.
mm,
And what it creates is a pattern of like Swiss cheese on your lung. So it
mercy.
erodes, and
Mm,
so these holes that it created, a fungus that travels in and out of all of our bodies every
mercy,
day.
mercy. Mm,
It landed in one of the holes, and it grew to a 2-inch fungus ball. They
wow,
discovered
wow,
that
wow.
So what it would do is it would irritate the blood vessels around it, causing it to some of the blood vessels to burst. That's how I started coughing and spitting up blood.
Hmm.
So after that, things they tried cryotherapy to freeze it out. They couldn't cut it out. In some instances, they will remove the fungus by taking away a portion of your lung. They couldn't do that because it was in the main bronchial airways. So
Mm.
so it you could treat only this. You could treat one or the other. You couldn't treat sarcoid and fungus at the same time because
Wow.
fungus would uh, it would create the weakness that was created if you try and treat sarcoid, the fungus would respond from it and it would seize more control from that weakness it would create.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very the fungus is cunning. It adapts to whatever meds you're shooting at it. It you have to there's no cure for the fungus.
Mm-hmm.
Cure for the fungus, just like there's no cure for the sarcoid.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how
Mm.
we started down the trail to the transplant.
All right. Now, I don't know. Well, I don't know about you, but I know for me, man, I struggled before the transplant. As far as walking, breathing, days I struggle trying to even tie my shoelaces. You know what I'm saying, or tie my shoes. You know what I'm saying, and or and um, man, life it wasn't a cakewalk, man. I mean, lifting things,
Yeah.
carrying things, struggle sleeping, I mean, just so many things was taking place in my struggle before transplant. What about you, man? Did you have those type of similar experience as well?
Well, I was in the construction business and it just totally slowed my production.
Right.
Uh, I was I did a number of different things, but one of the main things that I did was lay ceramic and porcelain tile,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just grievous.
Mm,
I I coughed frequently, so if we're talking and we have a laugh in the midst of our conversation, I would cough.
mm-hmm.
Um, couldn't just laugh. Very frequent coughing. I was always coughing and spitting up yellow mucus.
Mercy. Mm,
Those were the
man.
signs. Fatigue is a huge part of
Yes. 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 Yes.
yes,
Yeah, man. Tired all the time, man.
yes,
Tired all the
yeah.
time. Now, was you on a lot of medication at that time? Was you taking medication for what was going on with the issues at that time before transplant?
At that time, I was not on very many meds. The main med that they would use was prednisone,
Okay.
and the prednisone was they had given me initially such a high dose to be on that it began to actually cause me to have blurred vision, like to the point where I thought I was going blind,
Mm-hmm.
and and then uh, they took me off or lowered the dose. And then at that, incidentally, that at that time they diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes as
Mm,
well. So
mm. How much prednisone they had you on?
at that, today I'm on 10 milligrams. Back
Mm-hmm.
then I was on like about 70, 80 milligrams a
Mm-hmm.
day,
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
which is like,
Mm,
that's how.
mm,
So
mm.
yes.
Wow, Chief. So let me ask you this here. So what was um, did you share with us already? I don't think you have, but when did they decide, you know what, bro, you need a transplant, man? Lung transplant, man.
Wow.
It's,
So
it's, it's
tra-
time, baby. It's time.
the transplant I never wanted. Um,
Hmm.
Actually, I'd say after I came out of that 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 6 day coma, in that stint when I was in the hospital, I was in there for about 44 days, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Outside this year and last year, the 3 prior years, I was in the hospital a third of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the this year and last year, so I was in the hospital a lot. But at the
Mm-hmm.
time when I said yes to the transplant, um, I had this series of going in and out of the hospital like
Come
seven
on.
7 days, go home,
Yep.
back to
Yep.
7 days, so forth and so on. So I said yes to the transplant because God sent me a few signs, and I was in these hospitals so frequently. I knew most of the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent doctors that I had not known, and they said, "Well, Mr. Watson, have you ever considered a lung transplant?"
Mm.
And they said it in different ways, and so um that was like three doctors in one hospital. I went home. I went back to the hospital the very next day. They sent me down to the main campus, Cleveland Clinic. And then the first doctor that walks in, I know you gotta understand, I'm on this floor. This is the
Right.
pulmonary floor. I'm on this floor. I was in the hospital that much, and I never met this doctor. He comes in and says, the first doctor, a fellow, Mr. Watson, has anybody ever talked to you about a lung transplant? At that moment, I said, "Are you trying to tell me something, God?" So
Mm.
when I said, "You know what? I'd be willing to listen again," because they had talked to me at one time, and I said, "No, it's not going to happen."
Mm-hmm.
So when they sent someone to give me the consultation, when she got halfway, I had the peace of God that passes all understanding, and I've
Yeah.
had it. I've had it through every procedure.
Come on,
Said,
Chief.
said yes
Yes, sir.
procedure, and I've had probably at least 20 to 25 different procedures since my
Mm.
transfer.
Mm.
So so that's how we got down the road there.
Mm. 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 So what's medications like now after transplant? What's the medication like? I mean, is it 2 pills a day? Is it 3 pills? You, I mean, maybe you're not on no medication. Maybe you just, you just doing so well, you don't even need it, bro.
No,
You may be a blessed one, man. Go ahead.
I take a handful of medication every
Okay.
day.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
three different ways.
Uh-huh.
Um, Main medication that I take is tacrolimus, which is Prograf.
Okay. Okay.
That
I'll
is the
take that.
anti that's the anti-rejection
Uh-huh.
medication. And then it just goes, one after the other. I take one for fungus, so
Okay.
that we guard against the fungus ever coming back.
Mm.
I take two different antibiotics, Bactrim and azithromycin, and um, they had to, prior to the transplant, one of the tests revealed that I was susceptible uh, to oh gosh, to bringing my food back up, aspiration,
Right.
aspiration.
Right.
And so the number one loss of lung transplants is
Mm.
aspiration.
Okay.
So what they had to do was do a surgery on me, on my esophagus, to guard it from me aspirating. So
Mm.
they took some tissue from my intestines and
Mhm.
wrapped my esophagus with it. And there,
Mm.
so these things, I mean, I take uh, uh, very many supplements, D,
Mhm.
zinc, magnesium,
Okay.
uh, vitamin C, just things to build my immune system because of the autoimmune disease.
That's
And
right.
so um, a number of different medications.
Wow, wow. Are you on prednisone?
I am on prednisone, a
Okay.
very low.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no. Matter of fact, I think you did share with me that you're on prednisone. I think you said what you on. Did you say you said you're on 10?
milligrams.
I think you
Yes.
said you was 10. Yes, I think you did share with me earlier. You shared with us earlier that you was on prednisone. Yes, yes, yeah. I'm on prednisone. I'm actually taking about 7 milligrams of prednisone a day, and I'm on Cellsup as well. Are you about what about Cellsup?
Cellcept they discontinued
Okay,
early on, but
okay,
I was taking it.
okay,
Um,
okay. I'm taking about
that-
1,000 of that a day. 1,000 milligrams a day. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, man. And tacrolimus, I'm doing about. I'm on a low dosage. To be honest, man. I'm doing 2 milligrams a day. 1 milligram in the morning, one at night.
So I do 2 milligrams in the morning, and I do one at night.
Okay, so you're on 3 milligrams a day.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. That's a word, Chief, man. And you got to make sure now. When you take those meds, you're eating what you're eating a meal, man. You can't take that stuff without a meal.
I I I I didn't take mine yet today. 'Cause I gotta do my eating thing. So
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well, we got about 4 minutes left, man, and just so overall, man, you're doing okay. I know that you mentioned that you've been at the hospital here and there since these 21 times or so since the transplant. I mean, so what I mean, have life, I know you're doing okay. You're here, you're talking, you're moving forward in life. I mean, I'm always constantly following your page as well from time to time, so it seems like you're moving forward in the land of the living, man, and still trying to live life to the fullest, in the midst of your affliction, man. But since the transplant, you mentioned once again 21 times. I mean, what are some of these setbacks? You had to face since transplant.
A lot of times when they do transplants, like early on,
Hmm.
uh, the lungs don't completely uh, take off.
Yeah.
They don't hit the ground running, so they have to go in and they have to they do a series of bronchoscopies
Okay.
um, that they'll go in and they will clean out the lung and
Hmm.
with a solution and then they keep going in to clean it so that they can
Hmm.
give it a chance to do what it needs to do
Hmm.
to adapt. And they did that with my right lung several times.
Okay.
Um, they gave me I had a tracheotomy.
Mm.
Um, I the procedure with it when they wrapped my esophagus, that was a very extensive surgery.
Right.
I had a tube in my stomach.
Right.
There were no genuine setbacks. It was just things that are normal that they
Okay.
did.
Okay. That, That's understandable. That's understandable. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, Chief, we got about a minute and a half to end this 30 minutes interview. And once again, I praise God for you coming on board and sharing your story. And before we leave, Mr. Keith, man, is anything you want to just share with the folks, man? This word of encouragement, man. Maybe a reminder of those who are going through a lung transplant, who's going through getting ready to go through the process, those who have came out on the other side of the process. Is there anything that you wanted to share with them? Maybe look, follow the doctor's orders. There's always something good that we can share with those who are now coming from behind us, or even those who have gone before us, man. Every now and then they need a reminder as well. A word of encouragement, man, how to continue to persevere, as they continue to persevere.
Incidentally, I know a family that is going through the process right now. They're waiting,
Yes.
and I reach out to them and have contact with them. But
Hmm.
you definitely have to follow uh, what the doctors are telling you. I had a conversation with someone the other day about someone that one of their loved ones that did not want to fall in line with the guidelines that they set for him, and
Hmm.
he wound up passing away because he
Hmm.
didn't. So
Mm.
just encourage you to not give up, hope,
Mhm.
keep hoping, and in regards to the symptoms and the things that you might be going through, Make
Mm-hmm.
sure you go and get those things checked out. I was spitting up yellow mucus, very
Mm,
fatigued. Don't wait.
mm-hmm.
Don't wait. Gentlemen, especially because we are stubborn. Don't wait.
Mm. That's a word, man. We'll leave it there, Chief, man. Thank you very much, Keith, for once again coming on the show, joining Affliction. And we praise God for you, man. Look, man, we can continue to keep you in prayer. And viewers, continue to keep my man in prayer, Mr. Keith Waston Sr. And the Lord continue to keep his hands on him, man. And like God will continue to give him a life. And not only that, but long life. Allow him to be able to see at least 110 years old if the Lord delay his coming. What do you say out there, y'all? And continue to remember me as well. And look, God bless you. God continue to shine his grace upon you. May God continue to watch over you throughout the day. Y'all be blessed until next time. Rachel Reg is out. Joy in affliction. Peace. Have a wonderful day.